The unchambered long barrow, earthen long barrow, non-megalithic long barrow or non-megalithic mound, is a type of long barrow found across the British Isles, in a belt of land in Brittany, and in northern Europe as far east as the River Vistula. The term unchambered means that there is no stone chamber within the stone enclosure. In Great Britain they are often known as non-megalithic long barrows or unchambered long cairns. Since the 1980s, barrows of the Parsi type, part of the Cerny culture, have been discovered in the French département of Essonne in the Paris basin. These are not, however, megalithic structures. Neolithic monuments owe an expression of the culture and ideology of Neolithic communities. Their emergence and function are a hallmark of social development. Unchambered long barrows of the funnel beaker culture. In the region occupied by the peoples of the funnel beaker culture, unchambered long barrows fall into the megalith category because, in many cases, they're generally very low mounds, which are located mainly along the lower reaches of the rivers Elbe, Oder and Vistula, have an enclosure of megaliths, about 1 meter high. Due to their small dimensions they were not suitable for constructing chambers, which is why there are no chambers made of large stone blocks. The enclosures are trapezoidal or rectangular. East of the River Oder they are often trapezoidal or triangular with rounded tips, mostly, however, without transverse walls dividing them into separate chambers. The site of Pritzau has guardian stones higher than a man. Apart from the sites researched by Ewald Schult in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern and Niedźwiedź, Rothenmoor and Stralendorf, there are a further 11 in the area and 5 more examples in the forest of Sachsenwald. One group of 3 grave sites was first discovered in 1969 in the Altplästleiner Holz, Vorpommern-Greifswald. One of these enclosures is 80 meters long. 5 unchambered barrows were investigated in the 19th century by J. Ritter in the county of Hagenau. All these sites are characterized by clearly defined mounds of stone, which are covered beneath the mound with packed boulders. In the complex of Stralendorf were 6 such mounds of cobbles, lying transversely and longitudinally, bounded by a 125-meter-long trapezoidal enclosure. Such mounds are sometimes found outside the enclosures or are found in or adjacent to barrows in which there are chambers, for example, in 2 of the 4 barrows of Grundoldendorf. The Barrow of Volterhau in the forest of Sachsenwald has a length of 154 meters and is one of the longest sites in Nordic megalith architecture. The Tinim long barrow on the island of Sylt is a long barrow that has neither a chamber nor a megalithic enclosure, but is constructed of stones about the size of a football. It clearly represents a transitional type. If one considers sites without stone enclosures, whose mound had an enclosure of wooden posts in the past, of which there is now little trace, then the category of unchambered long barrows widens further, for example, to include the Tinim long barrow, Barra or Danica Normark. These so-called Konzhoj type or Niedźwiedź type graves are especially common in the funnel-beaker culture area east of the River Oder, British Isles. The 200 or so British earthen long barrows were constructed with an enclosure of wooden posts. They are especially common in Wiltshire and Yorkshire. 3 sites lie in Scotland and 1 on the Isle of Man. The barrows were formed over wooden chambers. In East Scotland there is another chamberless and non-megalithic variant, the chamberless cairn, of which there are about 50 cairns without chambers. These only occur in England and Cumbria and Northumberland, France. The earth mounds or tumuli in Brittany are pre-megalithic, such as the Turters along Ersinlands and Morbihan. They are low, slab-enclosed mounds, 15 to 35 meters wide and 40 to 100 meters long. They are rectangular or oval and contain dry-walled internal structures for cremation ashes and grave goods. In the early megalithic period, oversized earth mounds emerged, like the tumulus of Karnak, that has cistey-like elements. A newly discovered barrow of this type lies in La Trinité-sur-Mer. Barrows with enclosures of wooden posts are the Middle Neolithic enclosures of the Parsi type, some of which are ascribed to the Cerny culture. This type of mound with wooden post or palisade enclosures are also found in the region of the early funnel beaker culture. The Kons Hoj and Niedźwiedź type graves in central Germany and Poland. British, French and Nordic sites have no cultural connection with one another at all. Literature. Francis Lynch. Megalithic tombs and long barrows in Britain. Shire, Princess Risborough 1997, ISBN 0-7478-0341-2. Suhr Ingepecker. The Roots of Megalithism in the TRB Culture. Instytut Archeologii Uniwersytetu Łódzkiego Poznan 2011, ISBN 978-83-933586-1-8. Gergen, Walkowitz. Das Megalith Syndrome. Europäische Kultplätze der Steinzeit. Beyer and Baron, Lang and Weisbach 2003, ISBN 3-930036-70-3.